Hello YouTube. Just want to finally show you that the 55 gallon is now in place. Alright, next to my 90. Now, it's definitely a lot. It's only like the 55 is only like 13 inches, I think, wide. But it is tall and long, so that makes up for it. At this point, I'm probably just gonna put male guppies in because I'm breeding them. We'll see how that goes. I might change that. I don't know, but couple things I wanted to bring up. And there's Chico in the middle of the aquarium. He's kind of eyeing the new aquarium too. Kind of things I want to show. A couple things I want to show you. Look at Benjamin, and look at his top fin. He grew some sort of a really thick top near the top fin, so he's growing bigger. Look at that. He looks like a shark now. He's getting this big shark fin at the top, and he's got some new camouflage colors going. I think he's trying to blend in with the sand, so he's kind of looking like a sandy color at the top. From the bird eye view, he sort of looks like sand, right? He's trying, which is really cool. But anyway, about this 55 gallon, and you can see that my 90, let me turn the light on here. It's quite a bit taller too. But, so with this tank, I don't actually have a canister filter. I have the filter that came with it, which is actually a really good filter. I'm not going to bother with my names of filters, but it is a good filter, and it's doing a great job right now. So the reason for the water being so murky is because it was just added. Now it's being filtered. The water has been dechlorized. I've added some clear water chemical in there as well as some sort of a vitamin chemical to keep the fish healthy. So all of that, plus I have to monitor the pH, and it's going to take a couple weeks, probably 2 weeks or maybe longer, before I'm comfortable with putting any fish in here. I'm just going to look for some decorations, some sand, watch the filter work, see if I need a different filter. That's what a beginner should do at the very beginning of the tank, is just kind of monitor, let the water evaporate a little bit, add a little bit more water or decorations at that time. That's a good time to add them, like gravel. Make sure, like I said originally, before adding any gravel in, try and wash it out in hot water or boiling, put it in some boiling water and get rid of all the sediment that's actually in the gravel. You'll see if you swish it around in a bucket, like I usually put the gravel in the bucket, and then I add hot water to it, and I swish it around, and you'll see a whole bunch of dust in the bucket, and you want to dump that out, leaving the gravel, and then keep repeating that until you don't see any more dust. That takes care of the gravel being as clean as possible before you add it to the aquarium. The hotter the water, the better. Just make sure you don't burn your hands or anything like that. So anyway, that's how you would add water. I mean gravel. That's what you want to do. Do not do any of that inside your tank. No hot water in your tank. Things will crack, okay? So don't do that. But one other thing, I'm also going to keep an eye on my temperature here. I've got my temperature gauge ready to go here. So we're going to have some fun in this corner. We're going to be doing some videos showing you Benjamin and his crew. And then we're going to have a whole new aquarium. Now, it could be a whole different world we're going to be looking at. And for some reason, this tank looks bigger, but it is not. What was I going to mention to you guys as well? We mentioned the gravel. We mentioned the water. Decorations. I always put them through hot water as well. So those are the main things. If I remember what I was going to say, I'll let you know. But basically, the idea is to stabilize the aquarium, cycle it, let it cycle a little bit for a couple weeks, and then you can start adding some either decorations or your fish at that time, right? So that's the update I have for you guys, and we'll see how everything works out. Just wanted to show you the aquarium before fish, and that it is a process. It is something anybody that's getting a tank brand new should do, simply because you want to make sure the water is as good a quality as you can before you put the fish in. Also, just letting the water sit in your aquarium, I think this is what I wanted to mention, gives you an idea, because sometimes there are manufacturer defects. You want to make sure that there's no leaks from any of the sides, any of the corners, anywhere in the aquarium. There cannot be any leaks, because under huge pressure it'll crack or crash on you. So that's huge, right? Make sure you pick out your lighting, play with your lighting, pick the right lighting that looks the best for you. Before you put water in your tank, pick out your background. Stick it on the back of the aquarium before you start filling it in or anything, because that's the first thing I did. You'll be very sorry that you didn't pick a background and you started getting your aquarium ready. Don't forget, that's the number one thing, the first thing you do. Pick out a background. Now I'll show you. Let me turn the light on here as well. Make sure you give it, like this is next to my wall, make sure you give it a good, 4 or 5 fingers worth of space, if you can, from the wall, so that you can fit in a filter. Even if you will use a canister filter, make sure you have enough room for a top filter like this, because if an emergency happens, you'll probably have to replace the canister filter with a regular filter. Sometimes you can't find another canister filter, so make sure you have enough room to stick one of these guys on. That's the rule I go by. And yeah, basically I think it's a really nice fit for me and for my room. And you guys have a good time setting up your tanks, and stay tuned for this one. Cheers!